welcome in for another video. This is a requested video. I've been talking a lot about how I touch up on some of the jewelry that I get. Some of it is beautiful, vintage, and some of it was not as coddled or as preserved as well as it should have been. And things just happen over time. Colors fade and so forth. So I have had some success with many things that I've used these pens on. I've heard of these pens before, and these are very hit or miss. You really have to test them on certain things. And so that's what we're going to work on today. I hope you will enjoy that. If you're new to the channel, please come in, have a seat, enjoy yourself. We're going to always look at jewelry here. We're always going to ooh and ah over jewelry. But today we're going to do a little bit of a clinic on how I've worked on this type of jewelry and which ones I've had success with. So let me first start by showing you the pens. Now I got these on Amazon and I found them by just putting in jewelry pens, jewelry touch-ups, and this is what came out. There was a few other ones, but these were, I don't think they were the top price. I think these were $16 to $18. And then I think there was a couple that were about $25. But I thought I would try these, and I did get them in all three colors. This was just some of the packaging. Some of them actually come in a more matte finish, so I may have to get some of that. This one is kind of the antique color. This is called Deco Color Premium Prime Primo. So, of course, you shake them up and pump them a little bit on the tip, and then they'll start pouring out. I always get like a piece of paper or something to work with around me so that I can start the pen flowing and then should be ready to go. This is the gold, and then this is the silver. I have used the silver on some Brighton, and so it worked pretty well on that, but I thought it was a little bit on the shiny side, so I'm definitely going to start investing in some matte colors. And I also realized that if I patted it a little bit, I'm going to use a little tissue to show you in a minute, but if I put it down and then pat it a little bit on the paper, it'll take away some of that shine. Let me show you my successes first. I did do it right here on these coin earrings. I used the regular one, and all of this was very worn, and it really took a nice color to it. It covered that up completely. I'm keeping these for now, but of course, if I sell them, I will disclose that they have been touched up. But I think these are one of the best ones. The color was really close. Again, all that rim around there was very discolored. You can still see a little bit here. I might have missed a spot right there. But I could possibly do another touch-up. Didn't do anything to the coins. The coins were in pretty good condition. It was only this little bezel that needed a touch-up. So those worked well. I did a Brighton that I sold, and of course I disclosed it, and she loved it. Now the Brighton had a lot of different textures to it, so I didn't do the entire piece. I did like it had like 3 different types of stations, and I only concentrated on one of the stations because I really felt like if I did them all, it would really look painted on. And so that's why I didn't work on that one. That's why I didn't do the entire piece, which had different textures and different designs. I just worked on the ones that were solid with no texture or floral or anything on them. Now these are 2 beautiful art bracelets. This one's actually big on me, and I have tried selling this one. But when I first got it at an estate sale, you could really see the discoloration there. And I touched that up as well. I still see a little bit in here, but I didn't want to make it overly shiny. So I'm going to just show you a little bit of how I worked, and I only did it on the little lip part right here. I did not do the textured part. Let me show you how these work. They're basically like little markers. So you shake it up, make sure that you don't have anything that can be damaged around it. You shake it up, and then you start a little pump action going, and you get it going. And I even pick a little bit off of there. So now I'll do a little bit of the back. I have not done any of the back at all, but I will just to demonstrate to you how it works. Now see how it's kind of puddled there? That's when I would very likely take a little bit of paper and just pat it. That way I have a little texture that mirrors what's there. And it's not just a big shiny gloss. So for this is just for demonstration purposes right now. And I'm not concerned with this bracelet on the back, honestly. I really love this bracelet. I'm going to very likely keep it for myself. I think it's okay. See, it'll turn into a glob. So I will take a little bit of a this is just like a wrapping tissue, packaging tissue, and just blot. Just so it doesn't have a big shiny pool. And then you could even use some of that excess on the other parts. That's what I have done. Again, you know, you work at your discretion, whether you want to do it to that extent or not. Oh, that got stuck there. To that extent or not. And yeah, you might see the difference there. You might see if I blot it off just a bit, even after it starts drying, it really eliminates that. Or if you wanted to, instead of just doing that spot, well, you could do the entire thing. You can, now this is the back, so the back doesn't concern me. But in the front, all I did was these lips at the front, because that's really where the wear was. And I felt like if I went in there too much, it would be too obvious. I might put a little bit there and a little bit right there. Even though this is in the middle, it looks like part of the texture, part of the ridging on there. And I try to be really light. Like I said, you really need to pump it and press down to get more of the enameling out. But I don't really feel the need for it. It's very, very new. And there's a little discoloration right there. See how beautifully that covered up? I don't really feel the need to have a whole lot dripping from it. So that's why I just put a little bit. And then, again, I'm not happy with that really shiny surface. So I'll blot it out. I'll blot a little bit of that out. And just where I'm going to get my hands all dirty, but that's okay. I just really wanted to demonstrate to you on that. I'm very happy with this bracelet. And this bracelet, I think, now looks amazing. I still haven't worked on the closure. I will likely work on the closure as well. Not so much there. It's, you know, here at the back. I could easily cover that up. Now, this one, I'm not going to worry too much about blotting it because it is a shiny surface. I will be really careful. A flat surface, rather. I will be really careful with it and not hold it in one direction for too long so it doesn't pull. I don't want a big pool or a big glob, so I am going to set this aside. But I think that's a really fantastic piece, and I did do some work on it. This one, same thing. There was a little discoloration, and this is an art as well. There was a little discoloration right there. I didn't want to touch that beautiful linen texture. That's what they call a linen texture finish. Didn't want to touch that. Don't want to get that too shiny. If it were to start discoloring, I would probably do the same method of a little blot and then just a touch and then a blot. And that really keeps it more original looking, for lack of a better word. So that is an art vintage bracelet as well. Picked that up at that estate sale that Robert had gone to and then sent me to, and he bought some wonderful coral pieces there. So I love those two. And it's really funny because I was looking at this bracelet and I thought these were silver and had faded. I thought, and they're actually rhinestones in there. So I think they even stand out more now that we covered up that discoloration. The elephant might be tricky. He does have quite a bit of discoloration. All right, let's start with his little tail. Can you see how his tail is literally gray? It has lost its color completely. So that's looking very nice. That looks very nice there. I guess I could start with the ear as well. The trunk has a little discoloration too. See, now this does not look bad because there is some depth to that ear. So I would probably not blot that. I don't think I would blot that. I like that. It's just that one part where the ear had lost some of its color. Let's turn it around and do the trunk. Same thing. Now the trunk does have a little texture. It has the ridges. So I would likely do this. Now, again, this is just the regular. This one also comes in a matte finish. So it wouldn't have that really shiny finish. And I'm not doing it at every spot either. I really want to just make it look a little bit better. I don't want it to look like I, took out my Crayolas or something and worked on it. I'm going to let that dry. I may need another coat on the ear. I don't think so. I think it's going to look fabulous. Golds are different colors, right? There's antique gold. There's gold that looks like 22 karat. There's gold that looks like 14 karat. And then there's even the blonde golds. They're beige golds, I believe. Chanel calls it beige gold. This one looks like 18 karat. So I have had this bracelet for a very, very long time. And when I bought it, it had these little black spots of color loss or tarnish on it. I don't think there's any maker on it. But it's a beautiful bracelet. I get tons of compliments on it. It's very unique, very textured. So this will be the first time I try to do anything with this. Or see, it seems to be a different color on the clasp too there. So now I think I'll go straight to the spot. I've not pumped it. I've not pushed down the tip or anything to add. This looks like it may be a bit more golden, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I wonder if I could mix it with the antique gold. I think I may try that just to see what happens and see what kind of color I get. A little bit of the antique gold and mix it with the yellowy gold. And this is kind of what you have to do. You really have to experiment with what you have. This is very coppery color. It doesn't even look antique. It looks more coppery. But I'm going to mix it up like I do my makeup foundations and things. And I do. And just to see if I can't, or when I don't have the perfect nail polish that I want, I mix up what I want. So that's what I'm doing with this one. And let's go back in here with some of these spots. Here's one. And see if that doesn't work. And I'll put a little bit more gold than copper back in here and see how that works. See, I started with a little copper, but I'm adding some gold because you can really see the black spot, in my opinion. There, that one covered it very nice. That was a tiny black spot on that side. Here's a pretty big one. So I'm going to go in there and grab a little bit of that, but I really do want to still put some of that gold in there just to see what happens. It almost looks silvery right now. And it's a big spot. I think you can still see that. I may have to come back in with maybe the matte gold, because I think this one's just a little bit more golden. I'm not sure if that copper actually worked. But like I said, this bracelet, gosh, I've had it for probably 20 years. And I don't wear it that much anymore because of that stain. But I figured it couldn't hurt if I tried to fix it. That one did not have a really good match. That'll happen on that big spot. I think it worked really well on the other one. But I may try another coat, or I may try using the matte one on that one. All right, so we will put that one down. That was an interesting colored gold, okay? Now, this is a retired Betsy Johnson ring that I love. It's a copper base, so the copper's coming out, but it was a golden color. I just decided to do this today. I think this might be a good match for just regular gold. Ooh, look at that. And just to get it back into, it's not a bad color. Just to get it back to its glory there. And I don't want it to go on too thick, so I'm going to spread and remove as I put this on there. But wow, I think that's pretty awesome. I mean, the copper doesn't really bother me, but it still has so much gold that it kind of stands out. So that looks very nice. I'm going to put a little line there just to make sure I get all of that. And then there and around the rim. And then I'll likely sit that to dry. Boy, I think that's going to look nice. I have had some real successes with these pens. Not everything's going to work. Experiment with what you have. You know, take some of your other and practice also. That's not the exact goal, but it looks so much better. So I'm really happy with that one. I think that one turned out nice. I'll put that there to dry. And this one, I'm not even going to keep these earrings, but I just wanted to see because there's so much discoloration compared to this one. Just wanted to see how it would look with something like this because that is quite a bit of fading there. And oh, that looks good. That looks real good. Look how you could spruce up those beautiful hoops, especially if they're just for you and you've enjoyed them and you just don't want to give them up. You know, it's different if you're going to be selling and, of course, you want to disclose anything that you do to repair your jewelry. But if your favorite hoops have faded and you still love them, why not use this and bring them back to life? That is pretty good too. I really love these hoops when I found them. And then I realized that one of them was a lot more faded than the other. And even just going kind of willy-nilly here, almost like a dry brush technique, I think that works really well. I'm going to put those on the tissue back there because, you know, it's just certain spots. And this is textured. And it depends, again, texture, color, design. How much, I'm not going to sit there and color every single little ridge on this thing. I'm just sprucing it up. And I think I did a good job on those hoops. These, I just wanted to check the back. These are the type that, this is not a very expensive piece of jewelry. But you know how when jewelry starts getting just a little bit of that fading, I wanted to see how that would look right there. And then, of course, you want to use your brush techniques just as if you were doing some refinishing. I don't know if anybody in the audience today, I don't know if any of my viewers today have ever done refinishing, but when you put on the finishes on furniture, you're supposed to brush in one direction, make sure you have even strokes. Same thing here. That's what you want to do, especially if it's a flat, shiny surface like that. And that way it dries nice. This Sarah Coventry, I love. Pretty popular piece, but it also has that really horrible color loss. It has it on the chain too. And I wouldn't bother with the chain unless it was something I really, really loved. I would sit there and do it, yes. But I'm not going to do it with this one. I just want to see if it will improve this pendant, because it's a cute little pendant. Oh, yeah. Look, I like that. That is definitely nice. And I'm just brushing the edges on this because that's where you really, really see the wear. Yes, I could go all in and do it all. I could, and I may. But I just wanted you to see how much that improved. Look at that. And I have washed this already. Make sure you wash the jewelry so you don't have any dust going through the enamel. And I could just do, I might even do a blotting on this one too because of that texture. Just blot a little bit. I like the tissue. The tissue works nice. It doesn't stick. That looks really, really good. And it was only in the back, honestly, that had the fading. But it bothered me. I would very likely go back in on when this dries. I'm going to go back in and do the bail. This is a great improvement because you could really see the fading on the rim of this pendant, and you can't see it now. And that looks pretty good too. Wow, I like it. That's a big improvement. I love this. It looks like carnelian or coral or something, but it's not. It's just an old acrylic, and all it needs is a little touch up on here. It's got just a tiny bit of and I got to pump on that a little bit. But just like if you're doing your nails, you want to blot a little bit off before you start pressing down on these. Can you see how it's got a little bit of darkness there on the tip? So just be gentle, like you're polishing your nails or something. That one may have a little bit more than I want it, but just move it up. Same thing here. And I'm actually blotting some on the paper over there so it doesn't drip. And great improvement, but I love it. I think it really improved it. It now looks gold instead of dark. I may have left off some spots. I will definitely go back in and make sure I covered all of that. But I love that one. The copper color that was supposedly for these antique gold. And like I said, I just got it. I really kind of figured I would be able to mix it. And honestly, I don't even know if I would bother with some of these copper colored ones. I think that, or antique gold, I think that the mixture and color is intentional. It's an intentional design element. And I think even when it does have some fading, I'm not sure if it really would need to be touched up. It's a good color though, so if you are missing quite a bit of color, if you can see that, it's a good close match for sure on that. For your copper tone or for your antique gold. And I did put just a little gold over that, blending that. Not bad. I just did that on the chain just to demonstrate a little bit. We can do the back here too. There's some gold. And then maybe mix it with the coppery one. And then maybe blot it out. And again, this is assuming that you think or that you prefer your antique gold to be retouched. I don't even think it needs it, honestly. I think it hurts it to have a little bit of color loss, but it doesn't hurt to know that that would be a good match on that. Let's do a little silver on this one. This one has, the chain doesn't come off on this one. This is a really inexpensive silver tone, your typical mall jewelry. Oh yeah, that looks good. I would probably do the whole bail on this, even though it only has the fading there. Let me blot it a little bit, it's a little thick. This is kind of the way the Brighton turned out. Very, very shiny. And honestly, I think I would even blot this one. And just blot a little bit. See? And then it's not so shiny. Again, these are just techniques that I've learned from doing crafts and refinishing furniture and that kind of thing. Dry brush techniques. You could do a super shiny one. Do what you like with your jewelry if that's what you want on it. But in order for it to look like it's not painted on and look more like silver tone and gold tone, you work with it like that, and you can use your your blotting technique. Like I said, like if you were doing your nails, you're not going to dip the whole brush that's dripping with nail polish and put it on your nail. You're going to put a little bit at a time. Look how pretty that elephant is now. I don't think he needs anything else. I didn't go inside the ear. I only went around the rim. I did the tail and I did a little bit of the trunk. I think that was a very, very good one there. The hoops are amazing. They're now dry. They look really good. This is just the back of a beautiful costume ring that I have. And that's not even faded, but I just want to see how it matches this one. I think it's a copper base as well, so the band is a little faded. I will put a little touch up on that, just to touch up that band. And there we go. I think it looks great. I think these turned out really nice. Again, these are about $17 to $18 each, and I did get all 3 colors. I'll likely go back and look for a matte finish as well. This is the only one that I'm not too happy with. I'm going to have to experiment mixing the colors a little bit more, or maybe even get another brand. But the little spots worked out okay. The Betsy Johnson ring looks awesome. I really like it. You can't see the copper color now. It's really cool. So I like that, and that was quite faded. Really love that. If you got anything out of this video whatsoever, please be sure and give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share this with your friends and all your social media. And if you are inclined, take a look at my join button. I do offer discounts and some perks for those of you who purchase from me, either from my hauls or from my auctions over on Facebook. Thank you.